Hello there. I want to officially welcome you to the 2025 garden season. And today we're going to be showcasing projects that you can do right now in your landscape and set you up for success for the spring season. The first is going to be tackling your beds. Now, these are side beds or flower beds. You can be planting in them or have a little seating area in this case, but I like to clean up everything that has fallen over the winter season, and any plants that have died off, I like to just pull them out. And then also this time of year, it is wonderful to just do your weeding because the ground is very soft and it is just so easy to just tackle all of those weeds. So I definitely would suggest doing that early in the season. And while I was at it, I also just went in and freshened up the edging. I love to have a nice crisp edging to start off the season because I don't use any type of barrier. I like to have a living edge. It's where your bed and your grass meet without any barrier. So you'll watch me do that. I do it with a straight edge, and it's really easy to be able to accomplish. So leave me a comment down below which of these tips you will start on and what is the weather like in your area. We're forecasted to be in the 60s this next week, so I'm super excited to be able to get out and do more of these projects. The next project is going to be cleaning your barbecue area, and this can look like many different things depending upon how you have your backyard set up. Now in my case, I have a designated barbecue area where we created a wall that has planters and then has a little nook that we slide our barbecue into. So in the beginning of the season, I like to make sure that I wash down this area completely clean. I also try to scrub the grill as well, and to just make it nice and clean before we start the season. Another thing that I like to do is look around my area for whatever needs to be refreshed with stain or paint. And in this case, I am giving my barbecue wall a nice new fresh coat of stain. I'm using a bare wood stain. It's solid and it's in color slate. I use this same stain all throughout my landscape, so you guys should be familiar with the stain. So we're just taking the time to give it a nice coat so that we're ready for the season. During this time, it's the perfect time of year to think about adding in some type of pergola or covered structure, or maybe some type of umbrella or awning to your space. You know what fits your space the best, but 2 years ago we decided to do a DIY pergola, and this is just the footage of us, doing the assembly. We used some metal brackets from a company in Canada called Toja Grids, and we used their brackets along with local milled lumber to be able to create our pergola. And we have really enjoyed it for the past 2 seasons. This is going to be our 3rd season. So I'm just giving you close-up images of how the actual structure is constructed and how easy it is. Now I'm going to have all of these videos linked in the description in the playlist in case you want to check out all of the detailed videos where I shared all of these projects. This is just giving you an overview of things that you can be doing right now to really benefit and have a great start to your spring season. And the entire pergola build only was 1 weekend. We did have one failed attempt, but once we figured out the planing that we needed to do on the 4x4s, it literally took us 2 days to just be able to do it. The first day we worked, alone, just Marino, Alex, and myself. And then the next day, my brother-in-law and nephew came over to help us set it into place. Now, the next tip is to pressure wash. So I pressure washed my fences, my patio pavers, and also my siding. And I love to do this early in the season because there's so much grime and algae that collects. So it's really nice to just have everything nice and gleaming. Now, one tip that I do is when I'm doing the fencing, I like to put down a tarp over any type of soil or plants so that when I'm spraying the pressure washer, I'm not like getting splash up from the dirt that's below it. So if you're not already doing that, make sure that you try to use some type of covering. It will save you so much time in the debris splashing back up onto your freshly pressure washed items. So the next thing that I like to do is to either collect already acquired pots or planters or purchase new ones. And I like to do this because I want to make sure when it comes time for planting that I have all of the pots and planters that I need and not have to run out and purchase new ones. So it takes a little before planning, but it definitely is worth it. So when it comes time to plant, and in this case, you really can start planting your summer blooms as long as they are cold tolerant. So I love to just fill up my pots, and these are the 3 that I showed you in the last tip. I'm going to have them linked in my Amazon store and in the description. These were the best find that I was able to purchased last year, and I absolutely love them. They're large. They are absolutely beautiful. They come in an array of colors. So I'm going to link it in my Amazon store. Check it out. I know a lot of you purchased it last year, so I'm sure it will be a hot item this year as well. So I always like to use plant tone whenever I'm starting to plant either bulbs or small plants. And we are going to be planting some peony and some sedum, and I'm just spreading them out between these three planters, and they looked absolutely amazing last year. So they're still in the pots, and they're going to come back this year because they are perennials. And then later in the season, we also add in some annuals for some spring color. The next thing that I like to do is wash off my furniture. In this case, it's my rockers that sit underneath my pine trees. These are now on the side patio. If you're familiar with the channel, we moved them this last season onto the side patio. But at this time, it was sitting underneath the pine tree, so we make sure that we keep it nice and clean. And this type of cleaning can be on all of your furniture, whether it is your table that's on your deck, whether it's your sofa that's on your patio. Just make sure that you take a nice cleaning to all of your furniture, whether you're just scrubbing it with dish soap and warm water, or if you're taking the extra steps, in this case where I'm using the Goo Be Gone, because I have some stickers that were stuck on there, and then also some sap. So however you need to clean your furniture, take this opportunity to get them nice and clean for the start of the season. Another very important thing that we should do early on in the season is clean out our shed. Now, in my case, last year, I moved the majority of like my outdoor items to this shed. Actually, it was 2 years ago. We moved it to this shed that we put up. Now, we didn't have anything in this space before. We had all of these items stored inside of our garage. So while moving them out here, it makes it a lot easier when I'm doing projects out in the landscape. But it also puts it in a confined space. So you have to make sure that you're constantly coming out here and reevaluating how you have items stored in here. And it's a good thing to do this early on in the season. While having these items out here for a full season, I decided that all of my decor items, which I have inside of the bins, are going to go into the garage because I don't necessarily need them stacked here on the floor on a daily basis. So all of my tools, I think, are better suited having out here in the shed. So that's a lesson learned for me. Now, since I was in this area and working on the shed, I remembered that I wanted to upgrade the floor base because when we put up this shed, we just put it directly down on the earth, and we had some plastic, actually some rubber membrane that we used that I really didn't like. So because I was coming in here early in the season and organizing it, I decided to put in some paver stones at the bottom. So I put down some sand, I leveled them, and then I constructed the base. and it worked out really well for me. So there's always times that you can go back and evaluate how a space is being used and upgrade it for the next season. So I just want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you found this video inspirational and that it gave you ideas of what you can be doing right now when the weather is not as warm as it is going to be in spring. But all of these projects will set you up for success in this upcoming season. So until the next time, I want you to have an amazing, blessed day, and I'll see you back here for the next video.